What's up, everyone? So I kind of wanted to do something a little different for the channel. This is like the first time I'm kind of doing something like this, so if you guys like this, then if there's another thing I can kind of talk about for the channel I think would be interesting, then I will do another one. So here we go. So when I was a kid, the one channel that I always watched was Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon was home to awesome shows like SpongeBob, Rugrats, Kablam, Kappa Mikey. Anyone remember that one? And many, many more shows. It was an awesome network that always kept me happy. Now, another thing I had when I was a kid was Comcast cable. When my family got Comcast cable, the first things I went to look for was, of course, Nickelodeon. However, I didn't only find Nickelodeon. I found it under 4 different channels. There was Nickelodeon, Nickelodeon West, which played the same shows 3 hours later, and it was weird. There was also Nicktoons, which was pretty much the boomerang of Nickelodeon, and my personal favorite, Nick Gas, aka Nick Games and Sports for Kids. This channel pretty much had games and sports shows. It was this channel that I discovered Nickelodeon Guts, The Legends of the Hidden Temple, Family Double Dare, Figure It Out, and a lot more. However, there was one Nick game show that stood out to me, even to this day. It was a very scary show to me back then, with a bunch of kids at a camp and trying to solve the legend at that said camp. It aired between October 2002 to August 2003. That show was called Scaredy Camp. I feel like this is a show that not a lot of people have actually talked about or not even remember. There was also the show Are You Afraid of the Dark, but I don't have full memory of that show, unfortunately. I remember the show fondly because at the time, I didn't get into horror until 2007, thanks Halloween. But when I watched Scaredy Camp, I was in elementary school, and it aired on Saturday nights. Whenever the show came on, I always tuned in because I was extremely fascinated with urban legends and myths when I was a kid. You can thank Truth or Scare for that. But what exactly is Scaredy Camp? What's the goal? What do the kids do in this show to win? Well, I'm glad you asked. Before the first episode starts, we get a small glimpse of the camp legend for the season.
I've been hearing a lot of rumors. People are getting pulled in or they feel something under the water.
I've seen the ghost. Some say she walks in the woods.
All 2 of them. We'll get to that later. 6 kids are separated into teams of 3. Boys versus girls, red versus blue. They had to endure 4 days and 5 nights to solve the camp mystery. During the day, they are playing games and challenges to receive clues that will lead them closer to what happened to the said camper. At night is when it gets spooky. The winning team during the day would be blindfolded and guided into the woods at night to solve riddles given to them that will lead them to the next big clue. This was the main highlight of the show, because the crew of the show would do different things to scare the kids, like hearing voices, hear bumps in the night, or fill a bathtub with... I don't even know what that is. The team that would have the most amount of clues would be able to take the final challenge. During these challenges, they are guided by the show's host, Emma Wilson, who hasn't really done much after this. Though funny enough, she's the daughter of Ann Robinson, you know, the host of The Weakest Link? Like mother like daughter, really. She'll give the campers a small briefing about who the legend is about, and tell them that it is up to them to put the spirit to rest.
Your goal? To relive the last 5 days before the disappearance of camper Dennis Williams. The goal of your mission is simple: to identify and hopefully put to rest the ghost that haunts Camp Silver Lake.
Thus begins the first daytime challenge. Each challenge will have something that'll relate to the legend in some fashion. Like in episode 1 of season 1, a decathlon had taken place, just like in the legend of the season, or in season 2, where the campers had to eat food that would be fed to the campers in the legend. After the challenge is done, we get to see teams talk amongst each other about how they think they did in the games, why they might have lost, or what they'll encounter in the nighttime challenge. The team that wins will be able to go out at night, where a new challenge will take place, where they must search for more clues to help them bring the legend come to light. Emma tells the team what would be encountered in the nighttime challenge to mentally prepare them. Blindfolds are put on the kids, and they are taken to their destinations, whether separated or together.
I'm not going first.
I'll go second, but...
Thus, the nighttime challenge begins. Which I have to say, seeing the crew in the nighttime challenges kind of takes the immersion out. Like, I know why they're there, but it's just still funny, you know? And remember when I said the crew would do different things to scare the kids? The kids would hear voices or loud noises. Or in the water, shown in episode 2 of season 1, they'd see bubbles formed on the surface of the water, like the spirit of the dead child in the legends trying to get them.
What the heck?
Or you could be this girl and be extremely scared throughout the entire nighttime challenges.
I'm trying to find my way back. Please don't fight it, alright? But I think I don't want to go. I don't want to.
Run, bitch, run! He gonna kill you!
The only time this formula changes is when day 4 comes. During the daytime challenge, only 2 kids from each team are playing. When the nighttime challenge begins, the 3rd kid from both teams are playing alone. Usually this is the challenge that'll determine which team will be able to go into Night 5's final nighttime challenge. Yeah, there's no day 5, just jump into Night 5. With both legends, remember only had 2 seasons, both teams were very close to each other, but both times the blue team would partake in the final night. Emma tells only one more piece of information at midnight, which these kids should be asleep by then. Blindfolds are on, and they are separated from each other again to find each other, one at a time, and win the game. Thus finding the final clues needed to help lay the spirits to rest, and then the story finally comes to light by the campfire. Kinda like a scary story being told late at night. But the big question is, what do the kids win after finally telling the story and performing the task to put the spirits to rest? They win a party for their bunk. Just a party. Just no money, no vacation to a tropical vacation spot, just a party. Yeah, quite the underwhelming prize for these kids that might have been a little traumatized after these events. Especially this one.
Just noises, no.
Once Emma confirms that the story is complete, she then declares,
Scaredy Camp is now closed.
And one more thing, for a scary show about these legends haunting a camp, it's got a pretty rockin' soundtrack. But like I said before, there were only 2 seasons, and after that they stopped making new episodes. Why was that? Well, I really don't know. Apparently this was supposed to be a mini-series. The only thing uncovered was this newspaper clipping from the LA Times. But like the legends of the show, everything behind the scenes is quite the mystery. We don't even know the process of how the kids participating were able to join in. The show is a total enigma on the internet as well. Ever since it was taken off the air in 2007, it never saw any re-release on DVD, Blu-ray, or any streaming service. It's really strange, but quite fascinating. Was it because they couldn't go to another camp, couldn't have another legend going? Or maybe the kids playing were really scared and possibly the kids watching it at home were too and the parents had to step in. I don't know. But all I know is it made me want more. The legends and hauntings were pretty fascinating and neat campfire stories, for kid standards, I mean. You know, Scaredy Camp was a pretty neat show for Nick Gas, and I'm glad I was able to watch it when it was still airing on Nick Gas. Nowadays, we have the internet, so you're able to watch all 10 episodes on YouTube. The channel I saw the series on again and got the clips from was the channel Midnight Mass. I'll have a link in the description for you guys so that you can go to his channel and maybe form your own opinions on the show. Maybe tell me what you think in the comments, or if you actually remember watching this show, then definitely let me know because I'm kind of curious. Like nowadays, the conversations that the kids have can be kind of cringy.
If they find the clue, which they probably won't, but they will if they do.
But it's still worth the watch in my opinion. Thank you all for watching, and with all that, my look at Scaredy Camp is now finished.